Happy Snow Week! Hey guys, I hope y'all are enjoying the snow outside and getting to be home from school. But I know a lot of you are probably really missing math class and really wanting to practice some fractions. So I put together a little video for you so we can review adding and subtracting fractions and comparing fractions and converting fractions and all that stuff that you really love. So let's go ahead, jump into this and review some fractions. First off, adding and subtracting fractions. Alright, I'm hoping that this is not going to be backwards when I upload it. We'll see what happens. So, adding and subtracting fractions, you know that your denominator stays the same, you add across the top. But if your denominator is different, and if you are taking one of my tests, you know that it will be, you know to use the butterfly method. 5 times 3 is 15, and 8 times 2 is 16. That gives you your new numerators. And of course, you multiply your two denominators to get your new denominator. Then you add 6 plus 15 on top. Keep your new denominator the same right here. And you add 6 plus 15, you get 31, and your denominator stays the same. Okay? Make sure you don't try to multiply your new numbers or add together your denominators. Alright? Okay. So, if you need some help, there's going to be some practice problems at the bottom of this post. And you can look back at that video if you forget how to add and subtract fractions, and that's okay. But just remember, use that butterfly method that we've practiced over and over again. And when we compare fractions, you're going to use the butterfly method again. So obviously, if your denominators are the same, you can just compare your numerators. 4 is less than 5. You don't even have to worry about the numerator. So when you're comparing, you don't worry about the denominator up here. But if you're comparing with different denominators, then you've got to figure out what a new fraction would be. So 3 times 4 is 12, 7 times 2 is 14. Now you could multiply your denominators here and get 21, and then you would have the same denominator, but since you already know your denominator is going to be the same, you actually don't have to even write that down. So you can just compare 12 is less than 14. That's it. Pretty simple. Alright, and the last thing we're going to review on this video is how to convert a fraction to a decimal and convert a decimal to a fraction. So let's start with a fraction. We have 4/7. You remember that this line right here tells you to divide. So if you put 4 divided by 7 into your calculator, you're actually going to get a really long number that looks like this. Well, if I hold my phone this way, it looks like this. It's actually even more numbers than that, okay? But we've been talking about in math class that for our class, we're going to stop at the 3rd decimal place. So I'm just going to write down the first 3 numbers after the 0. 0.571 or 0 and 571 thousandths. Okay, make sure you can read it correctly. Being able to read it correctly is huge, because you've got to be able to read your decimal to write your decimal as a fraction. Here I can read 0 and 39 hundredths. 39 is my numerator, and hundredths is going to be my denominator. Hundredths sounds like 100. Okay? Now, you may have a case where you have to simplify once you do that. 25 hundredths, 25 over 100, and you can simplify by dividing the top and bottom by the same number. Remember, you always have to do the same thing to the top and the bottom number so you don't change the value of your number. We're not wanting to change how much your number is worth. We're just wanting to change the way you write it so that you write it in simplest form. There will be a whole video on its own about simplest form. So that was a quick review of adding and subtracting fractions, comparing fractions, and converting them. If you do follow my YouTube channel and you're watching this during our week where we're off from school because of the awesome snow outside, please make sure that you spread the word and tell your friends that if they want to get a little bit of review, which you really all need to do, you can go watch my videos and do the practice problems posted underneath. Hope you stay safe and stay warm.